Part 1. The Breaking Point. Pain never knocks before entering your life. It arrives quietly, settles deeply, and changes everything. Your thoughts, your heart, and the way you see the world. This is the story of Ayan, an ordinary young man with ordinary dreams, whose life was transformed by extraordinary pain. Ayan grew up believing that life rewarded effort. He was raised in a small town where dreams were modest, but hopes were big. His parents taught him honesty, patience, and the belief that hard work always leads to success. Ayan believed them with all his heart. He studied late nights, worked part-time jobs, and sacrificed sleep for ambition. His dream was simple, to build a stable life for his family, and prove that circumstances do not define destiny. For years, things seemed to move in the right direction. He graduated, secured a promising job, and began imagining a future that finally felt safe. Then life changed. It didn't happen all at once. Pain rarely does. It starts small, like a crack in glass. Ayan lost his job when the company downsized. Temporary, they said. You'll find something better, people said. He believed them, but days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Rejection emails filled his inbox. Some never replied at all. Slowly, hope began to feel heavy. His savings disappeared. His confidence followed. The same people who once praised his ambition now offered silent judgment. Then came the second blow. His father fell seriously ill. Hospital corridors replaced job interviews. Medical bills replaced dreams. Nights became longer, heavier. Ayan watched the strongest man he knew grow weaker each day. The pain of helplessness was worse than exhaustion. One night, sitting alone in the hospital hallway, Ayan broke. He questioned everything. His efforts, his faith, his worth. Why me? He whispered. What did I do wrong? Pain has a cruel way of making you doubt yourself. It convinces you that you are failing, even when you are surviving. After his father passed away, silence filled their home. Not peaceful silence, painful silence. The kind that echoes memories and regret. Ayan became quiet. Smiles felt forced. Hope felt dangerous. Friends stopped calling. Life moved on for everyone else. But Ayan remained stuck, emotionally frozen in a moment of loss. He began to believe pain only destroys, until one night changed everything. Ayan found an old notebook belonging to his father. Inside were handwritten thoughts, small reflections about life. One line caught his eye. Pain does not come to punish us. It comes to prepare us. He read it again, and again. For the first time, Ayan didn't fight his pain. He sat with it. He let himself feel everything. The anger, the grief, the disappointment. And in that moment, something shifted. Pain hadn't just broken him. It had stripped him down to his truth. He realized something powerful. He had survived every worst day so far. That night, Ayan made a quiet promise, not to escape pain, but to grow through it. Part 2. The Strength Within. Pain doesn't disappear when you decide to be strong. It stays, but it changes shape. What once felt like a wound slowly becomes a lesson. Ayan didn't wake up confident or fearless the next morning. Healing wasn't instant. Strength wasn't loud. It was subtle, slow, and uncomfortable. But he started with one small step. He rebuilt his routine. Not for success, just for survival. Morning walks, reading, writing his thoughts, applying for jobs again, without expectations. Each action was a silent rebellion against despair. Some days were harder than others. Grief returned without warning. Fear whispered lies. But Ayan had learned something crucial. Pain loses power when you stop running from it. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? He asked, what is this teaching me? Pain taught him patience, because healing can't be rushed. Pain taught him empathy, because he now understood silent struggles. Pain taught him resilience, because giving up no longer felt like an option. Months later, Ayan didn't just find a job. He found purpose. He began mentoring young people struggling with failure and loss. He shared his story, not as a victim, but as a survivor. People listened. They saw themselves in his honesty. The pain that once isolated him, now connected him to others. Ayan realized strength isn't about never breaking. It's about rebuilding differently. He was no longer chasing success to prove his worth. He was building a life aligned with meaning. One evening, while speaking to a group of students, someone asked him, do you wish the pain never happened? Ayan paused. Then he said, no, because the pain showed me who I truly am. Pain took away his illusions, but gave him clarity. Pain broke his comfort, but built his courage. Pain changed him, but it also made him stronger. Today, Ayan still carries his scars, but they don't define him. They remind him. They remind him that even in the darkest moments, something within us refuses to give up, and that something is strength born from pain. Final message for the reader. If you are hurting right now, remember this. Pain does not mean you are weak. Pain means you are human, and if you allow it, pain can become the force that shapes your strongest self.
Part 3. Becoming more than the pain. Pain does not leave quietly. Even after healing begins, pain returns in unexpected moments. In familiar places, old songs, empty chairs, and unanswered questions. Ayan learned this slowly. Strength didn't mean forgetting the past. It meant learning how to carry it without collapsing. There were days when memories of his father still tightened his chest. Days when self-doubt resurfaced, whispering that everything he built could disappear again. Pain tested him repeatedly, as if asking, "Are you truly stronger now?" This time, Ayan didn't fight back with anger. He answered with awareness. He understood something most people never realize. Pain doesn't want to destroy you, it wants to transform you. Ayan began to respect his emotions instead of suppressing them. When sadness arrived, he let it sit. When fear appeared, he listened without letting it lead. Emotional strength, he realized, wasn't about control. It was about understanding. Slowly, his inner voice changed. The voice that once said, "You're not enough," now said, "You're learning." The voice that once said, "You failed," now said, "You survived." This shift didn't happen overnight. It came through many quiet victories, choosing discipline over despair, kindness over bitterness, hope over numbness. One afternoon, Ayan visited his father's grave for the first time since his transformation. He expected tears. He expected heaviness. Instead, he felt something unexpected, gratitude. He whispered, "I lost you, but I found myself." Pain had taught him the value of time, the importance of presence, and the courage to live intentionally. It had stripped away ego and replaced it with humility. It had broken his certainty, but gave him wisdom. As Ayan continued mentoring others, he noticed something profound. People didn't need solutions. They needed understanding. They needed someone who could say, "I've been there, and I made it through." Pain had turned Ayan into that person. He became proof that broken moments can build unbreakable souls. One day, a young man approached him after a session, eyes heavy with defeat. "I feel like pain has ruined me," he said. Ayan smiled gently and replied, "Pain has introduced you to your strength, but you haven't met it yet." That night, Ayan reflected on his journey. He was no longer the man who believed life should be easy. He was no longer afraid of suffering, because pain had changed him, but not into someone bitter. It changed him into someone braver, deeper, and stronger. And perhaps that is the greatest truth of all. Pain does not take away who you are. It reveals who you can become. If you are reading this while hurting, remember, you are not broken. You are becoming. You are not weak. You are evolving. And one day, your pain will become the reason someone else believes in hope again. Because pain changes you, but it can also make you stronger.